Beautiful. And I'm going to go ahead and screen. All right. Thumbs up. Can you see it? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So again, welcome to this informational meeting for Signal Mountain Indoor. For those of you watching on YouTube and didn't hear the preamble, I'm Jordan Pittner. I'm the co-director along with Holly Pittner, who we together have run Signal Mountain Indoor for, I think this is our 4th season now, which is hard to believe. It's kind of incredible. We'll talk a little bit about what that is, especially for any new members who might be 7th or 8th graders who are considering doing this for the first time. So first, just a brief little bit about what indoor is. We call it indoor kind of colloquially. The real name for what we do is called Indoor Winds, but really ultimately for us, it's indoor marching band. It is very similar to our fall season, but on a much smaller scale. That includes both the space that we use. We're in a gym instead of a football field, so no being outside in 20-degree weather during the coldest part of the year. The shows are much shorter, typically about half of the amount of time as our fall show. And our rehearsal demands are lower, where the fall marching band rehearses about 8 hours a week and has a full band camp that goes 2 or 3 weeks, depending on your section. We have a short week in December where we meet for 4 days, and then we have about 5 hours of rehearsal throughout each week. One of my favorite parts about indoor is that it's really become a bridge to our culture at the high school, which is really kind of a wonderful thing for us. I think one of the things our leaders and our upperclassmen do a really great job of is making our younger members feel welcome. I know we have some younger members here today that have been part of that culture and building that up, and I am hopeful that they could all speak to how welcoming our upperclassmen are. I know some people have a little bit of concern about their 12-year-olds, working together on a team with 18-year-olds, but I think our culture is really wonderful for that. Additionally, if you're a high schooler, we try to find expanded opportunities to use high schoolers in different ways. Sometimes that's included different instruments or extra leadership type roles, or maybe just trying new and cool things. Indoor is kind of like a science lab for us where we experiment with things. And then a lot of times we'll take those and refine them for the fall season. So that's really fun as well.
What do you do? What happened?
Let's talk through rehearsal. Let's talk through the rehearsal calendar. Is that everything? Yeah. No, there we go. Double clicked. So the indoor is just an extension of our long-term goals. We think we have the community and the students and the resources here to be a world-class group that competes on the national stage. And indoor has really been a really big part of that for us. It's open to, again, grades 7 through 12. And we welcome all types of performers. So if you're a brass player, if you're a woodwind player, a percussion player, or if you're interested in our color guard section, all of those are things that we take, even though we compete under the umbrella of Indoor Winds. All of those things are welcome in that competitive scene. So we welcome everybody, and we think that's a really cool, kind of novel thing that we do. Not a lot of other people do that. Keeps double clicking. Let's talk through the rehearsal and calendar info. That's, I know, one of the most important things for everybody. The most important thing is our Tuesday and Thursday rehearsal schedule. We meet at 5:30. We pushed that back a few years ago because in order for us to get set up and ready on time, it was taking an extra 30 minutes before practice started. So we meet at 5:30 to get ourselves ready to go, to move everything into typically the cafeterias where we start rehearsal, but sometimes later in the gym as well. And so yeah, that starts in January 5th, goes through March 13th. So that is every single week. We do know that there are occasional things that people do that interfere with rehearsal. And in the winter, we're more lenient with that, although we do ask that you can be there on a pretty regular basis. If you have things like, for example, junior clinic or senior clinic, we know that those are things that people do. If you have like a youth and government thing one day that you have to be at, or I don't know, we have all sorts of little things come up throughout the season. We do ask that you make us aware of those before the day of, like 2 weeks ahead, is our kind of what we ask so we can prepare. But yeah, we want you to be there on a pretty regular cadence, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Additionally, we have a staging camp on December 8th through 11th. That goes from 5 to 8. When we say staging camp, that's just a day where we kind of set the tone. That's a week where we set the tone for the season, number one. And number two, we start to put the show together. So that's a really important week for us, and that we ask that you're available for those 4 days. That's a Monday through Thursday. And then the last rehearsal time that we have is Friday evenings. On the day before a contest, we also do an additional rehearsal on those dates. So you can see those dates there: January 30th, February 20th, February 27th is in parentheses, and then March 13th. We're going to talk about all those dates. Full disclosure, finding good show days for us has been very difficult this year. We've been juggling the Universal trip at the end of the season, the Disney trip in early March. We've been juggling, of course, spring break, and just a handful of other things. Like I said earlier, senior clinic falls in these dates. There's just a lot of different obligations that we know our students have that we've been trying to work around. So we have a very limited window of show dates. So the first one you'll see there is January 31st. That's at Heritage High School. February 21st at West High School. We'll just go ahead and talk about it. February 28th is tentative right now. That is at WGI Huntsville, I believe or maybe it's Madison. It's basically Huntsville Regional at Bob Jones High School on the 28th. And then March 14th will be our final show at Jefferson County High School. We recognize that's the first Saturday of spring break. It was just the only other show that we were available to do. The show after that is, of course, at the end of spring break. The one after that is the same week as the Universal trip. So this is the latest show we could perform, and it's probably one of the only shows where we'll have the full-fledged show completely done. So we really wanted to do one at the end of the season to make sure that we could have the full product and we could have enough time to really train ourselves and get there. Like I said, the February 28th date is tentative. We'll talk about that in registration, but what I would ask, we will confirm that within the next 10 days. We'll confirm whether we are or are not going to that WGI Huntsville show. What I would ask is that you hold off on registering until you're 100% certain that you can commit to those dates. So if you register today, you're saying, yes, we can commit to the February 28th date, whether it's there or not. If we don't have a show, we won't have anything that day. Therefore, we won't have anything on February 27th as well. But yeah, just know if you're going through the registration process, that means that you're committed to that date already. The cost this year, similar to last year, is $425. This includes our staff and design budget, our music arrangement. I've met with our music arranger just earlier this week, and we've already started kind of hammering through the show that we're doing. Additionally, we're bringing on an extra staff member this year, which I'm really excited about. Percussionists, if any of you, high school percussionists would have, but for those of you that haven't met Erwin yet, he will be joining us for a majority of the season, starting in January, and we're very, very, very excited to have him along with us so we can get some high quality percussion instruction. And you'll see other stuff there, soundtrack design. We have registration for show. Additional costs. Last year, we had an additional costuming cost. That's something we've eliminated entirely from the budget this year. So we are taking care of costuming ourselves as part of the budget. But we do ask that you have marching shoes. We can help provide links for that. If you don't have those already, any 7th or 8th graders who are joining our program for the first time. The good news is we use the same marching shoes throughout both seasons. So if you have them now, as long as your feet don't grow too much, you can have them in the fall as well. So it's like an early purchase. If you pay in full by December 1st, which is our registration deadline, you receive a $25 discount. So if you pay $400 in total by December 1st, you can do that via check or givebacks, which will be available later this month. Then that'll only be $400. So you get a small discount there. And you can see the payment schedule. We have a form we'll send out via email as well. But we're asking for a $150 deposit up front. That helps us get started with many of the purchases that we have to do at the beginning of the season. A majority of our purchases happen in the first month of the season. A second payment at the beginning of January, and then the third and final payment is due on February 1st. And we send out reminders of those things as we go. Those can be made out to Signal Mountain Middle High School, so not the boosters, but to Signal Mountain Middle High School. Or it can be paid online via, I think that's GiveBacks, if I'm not mistaken. And we're working on getting all those payment pieces set up right now as well. If you have any questions or concerns about like payments or fee schedule, you can of course call us and contact us as well. We'll talk about how to do that a little bit later on. All right, just a few more things here. We're always in need of volunteer support, and the biggest volunteer support that we need is drivers. Traditionally, we have had parents drive students to shows, and we have kind of a whole sign-up sheet, and parents meet at the beginning of the day, and we load up, and we go to our show and come back. That's always where we need the most support, especially because we have so many wonderful parents that already do so much for us on the other in the other categories. But we will need some help with things like uniform management and uniform support. Occasionally, we may need an additional trailer driver or somebody to cover props and set design, but especially show day support is really a big one we need as well. So drivers and show day support are really the ones that we need the most. When we're talking about show day support, that's showing up to the site, helping us get things off the trailer, helping us push onto the performance floor. We can walk you all the way through that process on the day of, if that's something you're willing to help out with. And we'll have a sign up genius as we get closer to the shows as well. But that's always something that we need some help with. Anything you want to add, Holly? Is there anything I've missed so far? Okay.
So one of the biggest things that we need volunteer-wise, Jordan already said the drivers and the support, but we also have an opportunity to donate snacks and water and food, because if you've done marching season, you know show days can be long, and we don't really know ahead of time how long those are going to be, and snacks and food and that kind of thing go a long way in that kind of help. There will be a spot in the registration document where if you're like, oh, I think I can do this, 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 and this, you can communicate that to us there, and you can be the first people we reach out to when we're looking for drivers or snacks or whichever one of these tasks you think fits the way you can volunteer and support.
That's great. All right. I don't have a lot to say about the show today, except that I'm very excited about it. Our show this year is based off of a piece of music that I've loved and wanted to do a show to for many, many years. You can ask Holly. I've been talking about this one for years. But it's to the piece of work Parkour by Sam Hazo. That's the name of the piece. It's a concert band piece that I really, really love. And I've always thought that the exploration of movement and things would be really, really interesting and neat. I'll just say again, no experience is needed. This isn't an auditioned group. So, it can be a little bit daunting to think about, okay, well, this is my first year of marching band. And also we have this show called Parkour where we're presumably doing jumping and leaping and also playing our instruments. And that can feel really overwhelming. But we have many, many years of, building this thing from a zero experience level. In my opinion, we do a good job of supporting our young students. And I think it's a really great opportunity. I really do. So this is a different, in years past, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we used to do the same show in the winter that we did in the fall. Last year that we kind of veered off of that path, and now we're starting to explore new music, new show, completely new everything. And that's something that we're really excited about. So if you're hearing all of this for the first time and you're excited and you're saying, hey, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to sign my child up, I'm ready to sign up, then here are the next steps for you. So I know many of you filled out the interest form, which I'm very grateful that you did. That is not a commitment to join the group. If you filled out the interest form, that's just a way for myself to work with the arranger to start preparing where we think enrollment is going. But the next step for you is going to be filling out these forms, and I'm going to make this available via email, via if you're on the Facebook page, on Slack, via the announcements channel. Any of those different places, this will be there as well. But you can take this link. It's a bit.ly SM Indoor Reg 2026, or you can scan this right now. Please only fill this out if you are ready to commit today and you are fully committed to all the dates that we talked about. I'm going to scroll back to that one.
No students.
Yeah, and we would like parents or guardians to be filling this out, not students. So yeah, just eliminating any duplicates or anything as we're going through this. I'm going to go back to those dates and just remind you, and again, I'll have these posted as well, but only fill this out if you're ready to commit to all of these times. If you have some sort of conflict with one specific date, let me know. Typically we do expect you to be at all of the shows. But if there's like one single date that's a deal breaker, let's reach out, let's talk about it. Let's see if we can come to a compromise. I can't promise that we can, but we do try to do our best to be accommodating because we want our students to be doing other things. We think that's great for them as well. It's all about juggling the commitments. So that would be step one, is to either use this QR code or this link and fill out the sign up form. Next thing that you'll do is make your first payment. You can do that via check today. There is I hope I'm telling you the right thing. There's a black box next to Mr. Walker's office. I believe that's the one that you will deposit your check to SNMHS2. Or we'll have the give backs link posted once it's finished as well. If you're not ready to commit yet, please come talk to us. That's our final thing here. If you have questions, if you're a student that's already in our Slack channels, that would be the best way for you to communicate with us. Please do a group message, not just messaging one of us, but all three of us, myself, Holly, and Mr. Hayes. Of course, if you're not a student or if this is your first time in band, then you're not part of our Slack channel, and that's okay. You can email myself or Holly. This is a shared indoor email that we have, signalmountainindoor@gmail.com. And then again, if you're a student using a student email, Holly is an HCDE employee, so you can use Pittner. That's Pittner _ Holly, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pittner _ Holly at hcde.org. I know HCDE is, of course, protective of where their emails go to and from. So that would be a good place for students to email if they have questions, or just have your parent reach out to us here. I think that's everything I have to cover. Anything else? Okay, great. Looks like we love this. I'm just looking at the chat for the first time. Yeah. If anybody has any questions. Oh, yeah, good question about the latest we can sign up. The registration deadline is December 1st. And that's just so we can have time to finalize the music and we can have the formations and things set up and just ready to go by then. So December 1st is the deadline, by the end of day, December 1st. Anything else? If anybody wants to unmute and ask a question, you're welcome to as well.
Hey, Jordan, it's Miss Conlon. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If we do not do the February 28th, will we have another concert or no?
Unfortunately, no. That is the last date that we could make work with our known calendar between both middle and high school. So okay. That is a date we're aiming for, but if we don't have it, then that will just be, we'll only do the 3 shows that we have on the calendar.
And that's WGI. It would just be in Huntsville or at Madison, correct?
Correct. Yeah, correct. Anybody else? Okay, great. Well, again, thank you so much for being here. If you're watching on YouTube, again, check out all the different ways you can contact us. And please reach out if you have any questions. I look forward to hopefully seeing a lot of you this winter. This seems like the largest amount of interest we've had ever, and I'm really, really excited to get started. So take care. Hope to see many of you soon.
Thanks, Jordan and Holly.
Thank y'all for all you do. I don't know when y'all sleep.
Yeah, it's been a week too. I appreciate it.
Hey, Jordan, I had a question.
Yeah.
What did you say the problem might be with the the WGI date?
To be honest, there's not a problem with it as much as we had a completely different set of dates ready to go. And then somebody never thought to look at the spring break calendar and realized none of it works. So we've had to kind of reorient, and we're just trying to make 100% sure that there's no conflicts or anything like that. So that's the main concern.
But it's definitely happening there. Like that is an event. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, that is an event that's happening. That was just a very late change for us going into this meeting. So we just want to make 100% sure that works with all of our calendars and
Okay, gotcha.
Before we say 100%.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right, great. I think I'm going to end the meeting for anybody else that's in here. Thanks again for being here. Hope to see y'all soon.
Thank you.